Thanks for staying on the AM show. It's now time to bring you the news. And James Gyakye Quayson of the NDC will be making a return to Parliament after his constituents kept faith with him and helped him win the keenly contested Assin North constituency by-election on Tuesday. Officials of the Electoral Commission declared him victor, raising his hand to signal the status as NDC officials broke into their revolution chorus. There's more in this report.
Number one, he secured a percentage of 42.15%. Candidate number 2 secured 0.29%. Candidate number 3 had 57.56%. By the power in me vested, now total turnout is 74%, 74.23%. Now please count the candidates. By the power in invested.
Are you the candidate?
This is not Kumewu. We took Charles Opoku's money and spent it, but we did not vote for him. These were chants from some jubilant voters in Assin North after the NDC's James Gyakye Quayson was declared winner of the by-election, which many pundits and connoisseurs have described as the most keenly contested by-election in the Fourth Republic. The exercise started in the early hours of Wednesday morning with hundreds of voters queuing to cast their ballots. Despite strong assurances of thorough security preparations, there were minor disturbances, including the arrest of an imposter who was clad in a military uniform. This, however, did not distort the flow of proceedings, which was generally described as peaceful. Amidst the process, National Communications Officer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, Sami Jemfi, expressed confidence in his party's victory. According to him, the NPP's candidate was no threat at all, describing him as a political prostitute. But he was not the only one oozing with optimism. The Ashanti Regional Chairman of the ruling New Patriotic Party, Bernard Entry-Boisiako, popularly known as Chairman Wutumi, was equally confident about victory.
About 4 catch me said Nipa 26,000 now to Sisia.
26,000.
At the moment, the angels have told me that about 26,000 people have voted, out of which the NPP already has 16,000 of those votes. But after all the results from all the 99 polling stations were received, it was the NDC's James Gyakye Quayson who emerged victorious with a total of 17,245 votes, representing 57.56% of the total votes cast, with Charles Opoku of the ruling New Patriotic Party garnering 12,630.
That's a report on what transpired yesterday in Assin North. Let's now hear from Fifi Fiavikwete, who is General Secretary of the NDC, and James Gyakye Quayson.
Election is a referendum is a referendum between the people of Ghana and MPP. And I'm excited because the people of Assin have really spoken what the people of Ghana have been saying all the time. And that is that this government, in the past 7 years, has failed the people of this country. Here we are, where inflation is about 42%. During our time, inflation was 15.5%. And they went on a spree of saying that we have failed as a government. We have failed as a government. Now, here we are, where our pensioners who have worked for so many years are now having to picket just to get the little money that is due them. Our factories have been shut down. Our currency has become a junk currency. You know, with all these things, the people of Assin has spoken the language that the people of Ghana want to hear. And the results are very clear.
Mr. Fifi Kwete, and then pick a word from him. Thank you very much. Welcome to PM Express.
Thank you very much.
What as a political party, you fought so hard.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, for us, it actually goes beyond the NDC as a party. It goes beyond the NDC. It's a victory not just for candidate Gyakye Quayson. It's a victory. It's a victory for truth. It's a victory for justice. And also it's a victory that signals that the people of Ghana are not prepared to sell their soul. That you cannot destroy a nation politically, morally, pervert the systems, the institutions, and come and think that you can buy the soul of the people by throwing what you call last-minute goodies at them, trying to deceive them and so on. So it's a number of great victories beyond just Assin. I'm
going to engage you further, but let me pick a word from Honorable Gyakye Quayson. Good evening. Welcome to PM Express.
I thought I just spoke to your counterparts.
No, this is Joy News. PM Express live on TV. Good evening.
Good evening.
Should be a happy now by now. Happy man by now.
I've always been happy. Tonight is exceptional because as in our people have vindicated every court and myself, and they still believe in me, so that makes me happy.
What does this victory mean to you personally? The lessons to be shared to the whole world.
Well, I mean, principles and values I work with, and I don't quit easily. So long as I know the cause I'm leading is genuine and it benefits other people. You see, you haven't been in a situation where you have to sacrifice your own life interest for the benefit of others. Until you are there, you will not understand it. Somehow you get an inspiration and you become fearless because you are standing for the truth, you are standing for justice, you're standing for almost everything that benefits other people other than yourself. That is why we have people like the Kwame Nkrumahs and we have people like the Mandelas. All right? Otherwise, somebody has to do it. Somebody has to be in that position sometimes. So I'm very...
You tell the people of Assin North for what they have done, the victory they have given you.
Well, the victory belongs to them. The victory belongs to Ghana. And the victory belongs to rule of law, justice.
Are you daunted by the fact that you'll be going to court very soon?
No. That's the least of my thought. I'm focused on how I can get Assin North developed. The court can take its own course. I mean, as I said earlier, I have not committed any wrong to worry about what is ahead of in legal terms. No.
All right. Thank you very much, Gyakye Quayson.
Thank you.
The one that has been declared as the winner of this by-election. Let me come back to Fifi Kwete. So does this election, the results that we are seeing now, does it have a bearing on the 2024 elections?
I would say it's a signal. It's a signal that the country is ready to do everything possible to stop a number of things that are going on. I mean, the destruction of the economy, the destruction of the moral fiber of the country, the perversion of our institutions, the weaponization of institutions to destroy truth and justice. I think a number of things are at stake, and the people of Ghana are signaling that enough is enough.
Did you send sympathy votes, or it was just a referendum on the economy of Ghana?
I see it's a number of things, so many things together. The people clearly are tired. The people clearly have seen that their economy is destroyed, their welfare is down. They can see the injustice that was happening. They can see the insult that was happening by last-minute attempt to buy their soul using what you call money and goods. So many things were together. So we see a signal, an awakening, and a message that is being sent to the rest of Ghana.
And what should we be expecting from the NDC as you've chalked this victory? What should we be expecting from you?
We are going to move into high gear. We are going to move into strategy. We are going to move to what you call effective planning towards 2024. And of course, coming up with ideas that we need to be able to revive this economy and restore Ghana again.
It appears that we were very swift in collating this particular result. Under 2 hours, you were able to put together the results, and then the jubilation started. I mean, is it a sign of some new development that we should...
We have said it, that some of the mistakes made in the past will not be repeated. I personally have pledged to the country that we will clearly see a coalition system that's different. That's the beginning of things that are happening.
So away from the election in Assin North, we'll be delving into that much later on the show. Though they have more than 50% of them involved in farming, the main challenge they face is access to huge unfertile land. They're often allotted farmlands that are seen to be infertile. That is the challenge faced by women farmers in the Upper West region. At the launch of this year's celebration of the World Day on Desertification and Drought, various stakeholders called for a change in the status quo to enable women who are seen to be better managers of lands go on with their farming activities. Our Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from WA.
The specific objectives of the celebration is to raise public awareness on the underlying effect of desertification and drought, highlight efforts that are being made to combat desertification and drought, and inspire stakeholder support for the advancement of women land rights. This year's celebration of the day is on the theme Her Land, Her Rights, Advancing Gender Equality and Land Restoration Goals. Speaking at the launch, Acting Upper West Regional Director of the Environmental Protection Agency, Emmanuel Luknuli, noted that the day is celebrated in June every year to raise public awareness of the effect of gender inequality on adoption of land restoration measures and to encourage stakeholder participation in line with restoration and sustainable land management to combat desertification and mitigate the effect of drought.
Because women do not have adequate access to land and do not have secure land rights, they are often allocated parcels of land that are low in soil fertility. And they often have the fear of losing land when they manage it so well and revive the fertility. They have the fear of losing it to men. So once they do not have secure land rights to manage the land and to restore the fertility and use it continuously, they tend not to invest so much in restoring the infertile lands that are often allocated to them. And this is one of the issues that this year's celebration of the World Day to combat desertification tends to highlight. Because, as we all know, when women have adequate access to land and secure land rights, they tend to manage the land very well. And women also constitute more than 50% of the people that are engaged in agriculture.
Chief Director at the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council, Peter M. Mala, speaking on behalf of Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz Bin Sali, observed that the core environmental challenges facing the Upper West region are land degradation and the threat of desertification, which in turn threaten ecosystem services such as water flow and quality regulation, carbon storage, biodiversity, soil fertility, and food security.
These problems are exacerbated by factors such as population pressure, illegal mining activities, unsustainable farming practices, deforestation, overgrazing, wildfires, soil nutrient attenuation caused by continuous cropping on marginal lands, and misuse of agrochemicals. This has been a big source of worry for leadership of the region because the majority of our people have agriculture as their only source of livelihood. I'm, however, happy to state that some paramount chiefs in the region have been so instrumental in the efforts to protect our environment. They have taken instituted bylaws in their paramountcies to discourage such burning and felling of economic trees for charcoal production with very tough sanctions on offenders. While commending those chiefs for this laudable initiative to protect our environment, I want to call on the rest to emulate the shining examples of their peers.
Some participants share their thoughts on the day and the team.
So moving forward, we will further engage. We've already had some engagement with the traditional leaders where we even drafted an MOU where some of the paramount chiefs even signed to it. So we are just going back to enhance that kind of collaboration and also go back to those documents and ensure that we are allowing women have access to the land and also have control over the lands. If we are doing this in a collaborative way, then it means that together we can address the issue of
the measures are not actually working. And the more reason why the measures are not working has to do with what? The attitudes of human beings. Human beings appears not to what? I mean, they don't abide to laws, bylaws, etc. I personally think that, if we should do more, if we do more than what we have done so far, I think desiccation as well as what? Drought can be curtailed.
Reporting for J News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Let's focus on education now. And some girls in senior high school avoid science due to their perception that it's a difficult subject. Assistant Headmaster at Accra Girls SHS, Sebastian Adama, says, though the grades of these students from junior high school prove the ability to study science, they often are fearful. Speaking to us during the AIMS Ghana's Africa Science Week, he acknowledged the need to whip up interest among female students in the field.
In a number of schools, science students are deprived the opportunity to take practical lessons in science education. This may be attributed to inadequate laboratory equipment for the practical lessons. Mr. Adama explains what pertains in other schools regarding practical science education is not different to Accra Girls SHS.
When they came, some of them came with good grades to offer science, and then they come back to come and change their course from science to other areas. And you could just see that it's not that they can't do it, but there's some particular fear in them. But most of the things they read. Even if they do the practicals, their numbers, we don't get them to have it as it is going to happen here.
Through the next Einstein Forum's African Science Week celebration, students of Accra Girls SHS were granted practical skills using Dext Technologies Science Set. Girls in the first year science class got the opportunity to perform about 80 experiments from diverse fields of study. Project coordinator for AIMS Ghana, Priscilla Sewajesi, is calling on other senior high schools to support the program to expose students to practical science education.
Because we came here because the school accepted for us to do here. So we plead that for other schools, it's just an opportunity. We don't take anything from you, we just need your involvement and the availability of your students. So get them involved for us to let them know the practicality of the science and STEM we've been talking about.
The African Institute of Mathematical Sciences, AIMS, with the support of Henry Luce Foundation, is rolling out Ghana's edition of the program. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima reporting.
And the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture says it's committed to protecting the rights of creatives in Ghana. It will do this by making sure their works are properly safeguarded. Deputy Minister for Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts, Akakpo, made this known at the signing of an MOU between the Creative Arts Agency and Expertise France. There's more in the following report.
A memorandum of understanding has been signed between the Creative Arts Agency and Expertise France to support the expansion of the music industry in Ghana. Deputy Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Akakpo, says this initiative will go a long way to protect the creative space in Ghana.
Expertise France is here to help with getting the technology on board, sensitizing the industry people. The know-how is very important. Yes, we know up to a degree, but they are masters, they are experts. SACEM, which is the Collecting Society of France, has been around for so many years. They've made all their mistakes, they've polished their wrongs, and now they've become masters. It is only prudent that we engage them and we work with them, we collaborate and learn from them.
The Creative Arts Agency CEO, Gyakye Akufo-Addo, revealed that there would be capacity building to expose creatives to the gains in the industry.
I mean, we have to be able to make sure that our industry are all encompassed in understanding the knowledge of copyright, intellectual property. Right now, as it stands, our artists and our artists' works are not protected. So I think that it will be also a ripple effect on the professionality that we have for the music industry. These are steps towards digitizing GAMRO, and these are steps towards making sure that every single artist within Ghana understands how to own their work. Copyright and intellectual property.
Director of Sustainable Inclusive Economy at Expertise France, Sylvain Peters Destarach, says the partnership will ensure that property rights of creatives are duly protected.
The first and the main goal of this partnership is to work on property rights. So it's in order to give to the artists, Ghanaian artists, the power and the capability to live from their art.
The project, which starts in June 2023 and ends in June 2025, is funded by the French government. For Joy News, Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah.
That'll be it for the news here on the AM show. We will be back with the news review. Dr. Assin is my guest. Do stay.